All right, hello guys. So the NFL season has begun, and I just got done watching the Ravens and Chiefs game. Want to do a little bit of a breakdown, talk about some of the major things that came out of this game for both the Ravens and the Chiefs, and talk about what went wrong for the Ravens, what went right for the Chiefs, and just generally the first thoughts of the game. So right off the bat, I want to say the thing that stuck out to me: the refereeing in this game was not good. Just all around for the Ravens, for the Chiefs. I'm not saying like one side was better than the other. There was just a lot of stuff in this game that was quite weird. Certain false starts not being called or personal fouls not being called. There's a distinct one I remember where Patrick Mahomes literally got pushed straight up out of bounds, and that wasn't called. But then for the Chiefs, there was multiple times where Juwan Taylor should have been called for a false start. That just never happened. So refereeing wasn't great. Also, you had a point in this game where there was a timeout called by Steve Spagnuolo, and assistant coaches, defense coordinators, they cannot call timeouts. So just a very weird game from the refereeing in general. That I was not a big fan of in this game. But let's talk about what went right for the Chiefs, why they were able to win this game. For the most part, the Chiefs controlled this game. The Chiefs felt like they were in the driving seat pretty much all the way up until the fourth quarter, from start to finish, right? The Ravens do score on their opening drive. The Chiefs, after that point, dominated this game. And yeah, the score is 27-20, and there was a chance that maybe the Ravens could have won this game at the very end. But really, the Chiefs outplayed the Ravens, I think, in almost every facet, right? Like, if you look at the Chiefs, they pretty much limited Lamar Jackson from having any type of down the field passing. There was only a couple passes that come to memory. You had the one at the very end of the game, setting up the chance to win the game. At the very end, you had Isaiah Likely's catch and run. Isaiah Likely was insane in this game, but the Ravens just didn't really have much of a down the field passing attack. And part of that was the offensive line for the Ravens was not good in this game. The Ravens started to figure out how to get past that later in this game. It took a lot of adjustments, but early on in this game, Chris Jones was just dominating, taking over this game, proving why he is, one of the best players in the NFL. And even if you think about the rushing attack, yes, they gave up 185 yards rushing, but it's kind of two parts to that. One, they were great against the run when it was in terms of Derrick Henry or Justice Hill running the ball. But the one weakness that the Chiefs had in this game, and it's what a lot of teams are going to have, is they were not able to contain Lamar Jackson in this game. He ran the ball 16 times for 122 yards and for 7.6 yards on average. He was just the sole reason the Ravens or even had a chance in this game. Offensive line play, especially early on in the game, wasn't great. They had a ton of illegal formations. The Ravens' offense was just stagnant in this game. I think there was also some questionable play calls at times. The Ravens' offense just really was not clicking until the fourth quarter of this game. They really struggled to get things going, and a part of that is because the Chiefs' defense just was pretty good in this game. I know they almost lost it at the very end, but for the most part, the Chiefs, they were pretty good on defense almost the entire game. I think the secondary really impressed me. With losing their cornerback Snead in the offseason, there was question marks about this secondary. Those, in my opinion, seemed to almost get erased. I think the secondary was pretty good for the most part. Did give up some stuff to Isaiah Likely, but outside of that, we're pretty good. Like, if you even look at the receiving the Baltimore had, 6 receptions for 52 yards from the running back, so a lot of dinking and dunking because there wasn't a lot of down the field passing. Zay Flowers, the number one receiver for the Ravens, only had 37 yards on 6 catches, so a lot of, very short catches or screens, things like that. And so I think the main reason that you look at this game, why the Chiefs won it, they dominated the Ravens through 3 quarters of this game. And if you look at the flip side of it, the Chiefs offense was pretty efficient in this game, right? Only 20 completions for Patrick Mahomes, but yet had almost 300 yards. And compared to 26 completions by Lamar Jackson on 41 attempts, had less yards than Patrick Mahomes. Tells you Chiefs were more efficient. They were able to have more down the field passing. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy were fantastic in this game. Even with Travis Kelce only having 3 receptions for 34 yards, offense was quite efficient. The only part of this offense that I'll say was lacking in this game, the running. Isaiah Pacheco, 15 carries, 45 yards, averaged 3 yards a carry. Not great. Only had a long of 5 yards in this game. It just was not a great game for Isaiah Pacheco. The Ravens defense was really able to shut down the running game, and so it became more of a pass-heavy offense. But that's kind of where I think you get to is like the Ravens defense played well in this game. I think they just made some boneheaded mistakes. Multiple like personal foul calls that could have been called, poor decisions. You had the last touchdown that the Chiefs scored with Xavier Worthy. That was just a blown coverage. Either the safety was supposed to take Xavier Worthy, or Marlon Humphrey should have just been in more of a man coverage there and should have not been expecting help. Don't know what was going on there. Just a lot of, I think, key errors that I think the Ravens will be able to clean up as the season goes on. But Ravens didn't get it done in this game. You had your chances. Lamar gets them down to around like the 10-yard line, and he misses a wide open throw in the back of the end zone. He comes back making some, incredible scrambling ability, which he did the entire game. And unfortunately, Isaiah Likely could not keep his feet in bounds. It was really close. Maybe the game goes differently. The Ravens could have gone for two. Who knows? If the Ravens would have pulled off the win here, I would have said that's an insane win because they were outplayed for a majority of this game. And so, yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this game. I think to me, the Chiefs were just clearly the better team today, and that just kind of was made clear. I think if you're the Ravens, clear concerns in the offensive line. They had to basically chip Chris Jones or have a double team on him almost the entire game because Chris Jones was constantly lining up over the right tackle for the Ravens, who was struggling in this game. I think the Ravens do have some questions on the offensive line. Will that improve going forward with this team? Who knows? I think another maybe concern you would have, the running game outside of Lamar wasn't very good in this game, right? Derrick Henry had 13 carries for 46 yards, 3.5 average. Both these teams were really good with the run with the running backs. Not so good with, with the quarterback scrambling, or for the Chiefs case, Xavier Worthy having a 21-yard run as well. So, takeaways from this game, I think these are two great teams. I think they'll be better and more polished the next time we probably see them if they match up in the playoffs. But a very sloppy game, I think, for almost both teams. Both teams, had some penalties that weren't great, some mishaps. Patrick Mahomes in this game had a pretty bad interception in the first half that allowed the Ravens to kind of stick around a little bit. But let me know what you guys thought about the first game of the NFL season. I thought it was a pretty good one, and I'm excited for tomorrow's game, or as you guys are probably watching this. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.